Pic.Think, thinking through media.
Okay. Welcome everyone. Welcome Raveen. Welcome Gladys.
Hey.
And welcome everyone that's viewing online on YouTube.
Hey y'all.
Pic.Think TV, Top Boy. How have you guys been anyway? Because it's been a couple months since we recorded last.
Has it been months?
Because we
What
actually maybe even 3 months
Lion
actually.
King.
Yeah.
yeah, it's been 3 months.
Good. Since then, I can't even think what's happened since then.
Okay, so to jog your memory, what TV and film have you watched since then?
You know what? It's an old film, but I watched Inception yesterday.
I've been wanting to watch that. I wanted to watch that on my birthday because that's why I brought the DVD down as well.
So wild.
I haven't watched that in a while actually, and I feel like there's always new things you can pick up
Yeah.
when you watch films like that again.
Yeah.
Watch that.
Oh yeah, Raveen, you told me you watched Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know, it's a different film to, I don't know what I expected. I like the way it was filmed a lot actually.
Yeah.
But I think I need to watch it again.
Yeah,
to get the hype.
It's definitely something, a repeated watch. It's kind of like Inception as well.
Yeah.
When you keep on watching it, you start to
What is
appreciate
it
it.
about?
It's about two people that were in love. They were a couple, and then they erased each other from each other's memories.
Oh.
It like goes through their memories as they get erased.
That kind of thing.
It's like the way it's filmed is really good.
Yeah, the way it's filmed is really good.
And I think the acting as well.
The acting is good as well. What have I been watching? Watch Top Boy, of course.
Yeah.
I did watch Hidden Figures. I will have to admit to you guys.
What? Nah, be very careful what you're about to say, Zahid.
I didn't manage to do the homework. I didn't manage to prepare all the questions because of my time.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say you didn't like it.
Oh, no. I liked it. It. But I think we might have to postpone doing that one. Even though I did want to do it today because of Black History Month. Oh, yeah. What else did I watch recently? I haven't watched Joker, but I want to watch it.
Oh, I've watched Joker.
You watched Joker?
Joker's good, yeah. It's very different. It's less action-like and more like storytelling.
Okay, good.
It's just like very, it was deep.
I thought that you would like it.
It was really good, yeah. But I did want there to be a bit more action, but I figured then it would be more like a Batman than Joker. But it was setting the scene of it and telling the story. You're like, this is a mad. No, they did so well.
So do you guys watch Big Mouth?
No,
I want to watch it.
like, it's really funny.
There's a new season out and it's just
okay. I need to watch it.
What is it like? Is it like South Park?
Just foul.
I haven't really watched South Park like that, but it is like, it's basically a coming of age sort of show about these two friends and their external friends at their school, and all of them coming of age, and they've got like these external monsters that are within them that no one else can see. So we've got like the hormone monster.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then like the depression kitty.
Like an Inside Out, but for adults.
Oh yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, that is like it.
And it's just really funny as well because it's just dumb.
Alright, watch it.
It was literally so funny.
Jeez.
There's also a film called Farming that I want to watch.
Farming? What's that?
Yeah, have you seen the trailer for it?
No.
It's got that guy, what's that guy called? The black actor, and he's from the UK. He was in...
Daniel Kaluuya?
He was... No.
Idris.
He was in... He was in
Flashy?
Black Mirror, the one with the car, the guy when his wife died.
Oh, is it him?
Him. I think it's specifically a Nigerian family that comes to the UK back in the day and the racism they experienced from these like neo-Nazis.
It's London
people.
based.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how he like basically loses his identity and becomes one of them because he's the only black guy. So it's like either get beaten by them or become one of them. So yeah.
What, you chose to become one of them?
Yeah.
A neo-Nazi?
A black man.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
And like, watch the trailer. The trailer's really, really good.
Okay.
Do you know what I've just watched as well? Raising Dion.
Raising Dion. I haven't.
Yeah, on Netflix. Little boy with superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
It's alright. I don't know. Yeah. Actually, the mad plot twist.
You know the thing
watch it. Insane plot twist.
The thing about that is they had like a trailer like ages ago, And it was like different characters and a totally like different theme of the show. And then the one that they released seems like really watered down compared to the old trailer. If I find it, I'll find the whole trailer and send it to you guys. Yeah.
But oh my god, yeah. I was about to go to bed and I was like, what? It just had the maddest plot twist and I had to watch it. I was like,
Michael
what's
B.
going
Jordan's
on?
in it, innit?
Yeah.
My husband.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan. But I didn't even hear you said it. Then once you said my husband, I was like, okay, I know you're talking about.
I don't know what Gladys is talking about. That ain't her, man.
We married. A whole marriage, you know.
All right, so this will be a smooth segue into the first question I have for Top Boy. It's a hypothetical question. So, if you had to choose a top 5 list of quintessential British TV dramas and or films, which 5 would you choose to represent the British culture?
Sorry, quintessential.
Yeah, as in like it just means as though this is the pinnacle, so important.
Essential.
Like essential what? If you want to know Britain,
Quintessential.
quintessential. Yeah, this is
This is it.
I think maybe Skins.
Skins.
I never watched Skins, you know.
I watched a bit of it, but I didn't.
Enjoyed it.
But I understand why.
Imagine from the adverts, yeah, I think that's
That
really the
whole
north of
like
England.
young,
Scatty.
scatty lifestyle. Because that's part of the.
Yeah, it is. You just drink up in the park and just
Yeah, I
Cool.
thought it was amazing at the time.
Skins. Okay, cool.
I mean, Top Boy, obviously, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Waterloo Road, maybe. Back in the day a bit. Just school, the closest thing that shows. What was that film? That girls' school film. I wouldn't say it's like typically British, but it's just
Girls' school film.
Centurions.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Just because of how mad girls' schools are here, I think they're very.
How mad they are.
Yeah, not in that exact way, but I wouldn't class it as a top 5. I'm just trying to think of British ones. Things like, if I'm thinking back in the day, things like, do you remember My Family?
Oh yeah. My
My
family was hilarious.
Mick, oh my goodness.
Hello, Dad.
And even the mum, what was her name? My Family used to bang.
My family. Yeah, actually, I didn't even remember My Family. My Family.
Yeah, because I feel like that's maybe not my British experience, but some people's.
Yeah. Actually, let me mention the one that said that it's going
to
kick you, but then I'll remember the one that you jogged into my head after you mentioned My Family. Kidulthood.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. That has to be.
100%.
Has to be. And the one that I was going to mention after you mentioned My Family is Only Fools and Horses.
Oh yeah.
I haven't watched that neither.
Yeah, that is
that used to be so funny.
That is
also on my list.
Kidulthood.
That was epic.
Yeah. That one, I've watched that probably double digits time. Double digits.
Yeah.
Every time that it's on BBC. What was it on BBC?
It's so British, yeah.
It's so British.
It's literally just everything.
Yeah.
I remember watching it and just being like,
this is life.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah. I love Kidulthood. To be fair, I did think that the way that they were going to go, I didn't think that they were going to go into brotherhood. I thought they were going to go into parenthood. So then they were going to deal... I thought that the way that they were going to... What was his name? Who wrote it again? Forgot his name. Noel Clark.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to go in a way that he's showing your kids, you become an adult, you become a parent, and then you're dealing with the same thing you did.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the older kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you see basically it's kind of like a mirror reflection kind of thing.
Sorry, you see this scene right here? Is there not a ladder in front of him? They just showed a ladder, yeah?
Yeah.
Why didn't he take the ladder and go and open the window?
That
you
one.
see it?
That ladder's too short.
At least try!
Instead
you're trying to fight fire.
I was thinking,
makes more sense.
Yeah, I was thinking, there's no way. By the way,
Sorry,
we are actually sidetracked. We are actually watching Top Boy right now, and we're at the point, spoiler if you haven't watched it, where what's his name? Jason is trapped in the house, the burning house.
Someone tweeted they did this for Grenfell. And I was
Yeah,
just like,
they did.
Oh my gosh. Really?
You reckon?
Yeah, because if you think about, like, they're showing the refugees or just immigrants, and that was essentially like Grenfell. Most of the building, they were Muslims, black people. They were immigrants, and there was minimal white people that lived in that building. And it is, I think, we'll get into it with Top Boy, but I think they represented a lot of just what's going on in this day and age, and that's just a small snippet of
It did give me Grenfell vibes when he was just banging on the window.
Yeah,
just like,
he
oh
could
my
do
gosh.
anything. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah. So then, have we finished with the
Oh yeah.
with the first question?
Yeah.
Can't
I
think of
can't
anything.
think of anything else.
The other ones that I mentioned Black Mirror and Doctor Who, and
I
EastEnders.
didn't watch Doctor Who.
I didn't watch it, but I know that it's kind of like people look to it like
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but people love Doctor Who basically.
Yeah.
And EastEnders,
defo.
Yeah.
I would say,
man.
even though I don't watch it now, I haven't watched it in
Yeah,
years,
same.
but the precedent that they set for soap
Everyone
operas,
knows this.
everyone knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to the review. Okay, despite being exclusively streamed by Netflix and executively produced by Drake, US rapper, did the return of Top Boy manage to stay true to the original series, Top Boy Summer House, and stay authentically British?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Were you
scared
surprised?
about that.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I heard, Drake's getting involved, I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to be basically Power now. Or just exaggerated and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when I watched it, I was like, raw,
Yeah.
it's still the same.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
not a bit better because
It
it's
is
just
better.
like
It was better.
fine-tuned.
Yeah. It's fine-tuned.
Yeah.
It had the money, the funds behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially,
It elevated in the way like it was filmed, the visuals.
yeah.
But in terms of keeping it the same like reflecting London, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You could tell Drake's money was behind it, but you didn't feel like he was overbearing on it or anything like that. You didn't even feel like he was involved in it.
Yeah,
No.
definitely.
It just had the big budget of America, but
Yeah.
not the influence of it.
No.
Also, yeah, I was gonna say, did you feel like the Netflix, it being streamed only on Netflix, affected it in any way? Because there are certain things that what I have in mind is Black Mirror. You know, once the Netflix got involved, it kind of started to get a bit more Americanized, and then you can kind of see it kind of.
I didn't watch
veering
Black
off.
Mirror before it was on Netflix though.
That's
Oh,
true.
really?
But I didn't watch it before, but so then I didn't have that impression. But people would
saying
it, and that you can see it if you watch it from the beginning. You're like, oh, okay, I can see.
I don't think it had. I think the only thing was them releasing all the episodes at once. Was the only thing I would maybe want differently.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think it made it a certain way.
I feel like it made sense in a sense, because when Top Boy first came out, it was before like this internet sort of watching things online, and everybody watched it on their TV screens because that's what everyone would do. So I feel like they've just come with the change of time and just put it on Netflix.
No one really watches TV.
Yeah, no one. I feel like if they was to put it on TV, it'd be a bit.
Because I think I would have had more trouble trying to catch it
Yeah.
every Friday at 9 p.m. on Channel 4.
Yeah.
If rather than it being on Netflix.
Sidetrack though. How did we used to do that stuff?
I don't know.
Because me now it's like I can't. When something's scheduled, I'm like, nah, I have to watch it elsewhere.
You had no other option. You either
It's
watch it or
true.
miss it. Like, you
It's
just.
Yeah,
I
watch it
can
or miss
remember
it,
High
yeah.
School Musical running. Do you know how I'll never forget? Because we went to Fort Park that day. Did you go?
I think
don't
I
know
did,
for
you
the-
know.
And everyone was like, we gotta get home and watch High School Musical because they were advertising that on Disney
Yeah,
for weeks. And it was finally debuting, so everyone was like, no, there's no hanging out when we
Literally.
get back today. We're running home to watch it. And that's what you did, otherwise you'd miss out.
Exactly. That's like when I used to watch EastEnders.
Yeah.
I'd have to like,
You know, 8 o'clock on a Monday.
and if my dad's sitting there watching the news, it would
Sorry,
be
Dad.
peak. Because me and my siblings will be sitting there huffing and puffing.
You'll catch it at 10 on BBC
Or on
3.
Sunday, Omnibus or whatever
I
it was
never
called.
caught the Omnibus. No,
Like,
it's
legit.
at 10 on BBC
We actually
3,
went
so
through the
that's-
ghetto.
Okay. I'm so glad we experienced that though.
Today's generation will never know about missing out, boy.
No.
But yeah, no, I think Netflix, it was...
Yeah. I feel like it
Fine.
was a relevant platform to put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think about the new 10-part episode setup? Because before it was 4 episodes per season. This time it was 10 episodes. Did you feel like it was necessary for it to grow, or did you feel like they, stretched it out a bit too much?
I think even if they did 4 episodes, it would have still been elite, like amazing. But I think the fact that they extended it, it didn't feel stretched out. It felt like everything, it needed to be that long, and it was perfect. I think any more would have been maybe then stretching it out. But there was no episode where I was like, oh, this didn't need to be here. They didn't need to tell this part. So everything was like, it played a part.
I agree with that.
Same.
Also, did you feel like the casting of familiar and famous faces from the British rap and grime scene added authenticity to the series, or did it pander to a certain demographic? Did it feel unnecessary, like they were trying to just say, oh yeah, there's this person in it, there's this person in it?
Do you know what?
Or,
What, you mean like the original cast, or do you mean like the added
one
extras?
in season 3? The extras that are in season 3.
Like Dave,
Little Sims, Bashy.
Bashy's in 2, no?
Oh yeah, he is.
Is he in the second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure he is.
Yeah. I mean,
He gets kidnapped.
Oh, he gets kidnapped in the
By
second one.
Sully.
Yeah. That's,
But
I'm mixing
I would, if the acting was bad of them, I would
Yeah.
say yes, unnecessary. But they actually, like, Dave's character, he executed it very well.
You know,
And if
you know
do you
what?
not think so?
No. I would no. I felt like he was perfect, and his performance was so good.
You believe that's him?
Or do you mean with Dave? You believe that he's Modi? Is that
Yeah,
what you
like that. You didn't, because usually he's like naturally quite shy and stuff. You didn't even get a glimpse of that. Like he was uncomfortable in playing this part.
Yeah. I felt like when I usually say about Dave that I don't really get that much expression from him in his music. I feel like there's a certain level of expression that I didn't get.
So many people say that. Yeah.
But I felt like people argued against me and felt like, oh no, he's got emotion. But I just felt like he's a bit monotone.
Okay, yeah.
But with this, I was like, this is exactly what I want to see when he's rap. Like this is what I want to feel when he's rapping, because I felt like, you know, those people.
Do you not feel that when he's rapping?
I think that's what doesn't draw me to him, like to repeat, because I don't feel that what I felt when I watched him in this. In this, I don't know if you guys get that feeling, but you know when a roadman is a bit erratic and then it just puts you on edge.
Out of control.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't feel that, it's something's wrong. Like.
Yeah, so that's the kind of feeling that I got watching Modi. So then that's why I was like, okay, yeah, he's good. Because if you can make me feel that through a TV screen, then... And
he acted mad.
Literally.
Just like his voice nuts.
The thing is, I love Dave, innit? Dave, if you're listening, girl. But I love him. In this show, I was like, what? Like, I could... Like, he was actually an op.
Crazy, yeah.
He was really an op. And he played it so well. Even in the first scene when they were in the prison. And it was just like...
It was a madman. Madman.
You're nuts.
And he did it,
About your
when he came back
felon
on the
and
end.
you could just be
I
get what you mean. Like, if they played it really badly, then it would have been like, oh, they're just putting these names in just for the sake of it. But they actually did really, really good.
Yeah, because there are some films where it's just they're just name dropping and there's no storyline, and it's like you just wanted to get in actors. But no, I think even Lil Sim's like, I don't really know for her character itself.
Yeah.
If there needed to be
a Shelley.
Yeah. But, I don't think it made it worse or anything.
I don't think it made it worse.
I think they played it very, very well.
Kano's a really good actor.
Kano needs some sort of award for what he did on this show, like season 3. Because literally the acting was just amazing.
Yeah.
Like, on point.
But
like, the way he
all of them?
grew. But I feel like in season 3 it was so noticeable and it was just like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
time in prison.
Because I feel like in seasons 1 and 2 he was a bit of the erratic character.
He was.
And he was a bit of the one that was thrown his twigs up
morals
the
and
and then now he's come and he's out of prison as well, which shows like that change.
And
it was just everything, the PTSD,
even
everything.
Now, this scene
like everything was just on point. Even when he went to go and kill his friend, what was his name?
Driss.
Yeah, and I felt that.
That scene was just... I mean, this whole... I just have no words. It's like mind-blowing.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, the acting was very good.
The acting, the visuals, the soundtrack, everything. I was just watching it going, this is amazing. Like...
Yeah, from when they showed that drone shot.
Oh, I love that. End of the first episode.
I love.
We are in for a treat.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
They have leveled up.
I was thinking
it was. Yeah, nah.
From that, I was like, you know, when you're late,
I see.
It was late night, and I was thinking,
I
don't have time to watch another one.
But
I'm going to because that's just the way I get.
And it segued quite well from season 2 to season 3, despite being such a long gap.
Yeah.
6-year gap. 6-year gap.
And I think they address so much that happens in that they don't act like nothing happened every time.
It was
Like with Driss and his stroke, everything. It was
Yeah, they didn't leave anything out. They kind of filled. No, I think, you know what? With the storyline, they didn't leave anything out between the transition between season 2 and season 3. But I felt like there was some gaps in the actual story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There
Ronell,
was...
where did he go? What happened to him?
What happened to Ronell?
Yeah. What happened to Ronell? You know what? You know with Modi, when he got caught, was he... What's his name in the thing? Is it Jermaine Bashi's character?
Yeah.
Jermaine. Did Jermaine set him up to be caught?
I feel like, yeah.
Or because they don't answer that in the...
I know, I feel like that will come next season.
You think that they'll touch on that next season?
Maybe.
I think he did.
You think he did?
I think he did. Because when they were fighting, it was almost like he was waiting for the news to come in for them to stop and be like, look, he's dead on the TV.
When Bashi and
also the way he was telling him, like, you need to start acting, you need to behave, otherwise you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
Didn't try to bust you out just for you to get put back inside. I feel like, yeah, he did.
Okay.
Because there were a lot of little things. You see, like, with Jack's sister.
Yes.
And she snitched. Like, I don't know if, what's his name, Duchesne is not going to tell Sully and make it seem like Driss was the snitch for that as well? Or do you think that's going to creep back up and Sully's going to find out that Duchesne didn't tell him that the sister...
I feel like it could creep back up, you know.
I don't know whether... Because, you know, he said, I'll tell him the next morning. The next morning came, he didn't tell him. But that's when they find out, they put it like... Do you think he put it all on Driss to say, this is our snitch?
Oh,
because they said we found our snitch. We found our rat.
But didn't he tell the sister to go somewhere like?
Yeah, so I'm like, is that going to creep back up? Sully's going to find out somehow and be like, "Yo, the shame you didn't tell me." She was, or do you think he's going to tell her?
Who knows? Find out on the next.
I don't know. I think the only thing that did cross my mind at some point was like, is this amount of guns and stuff realistic? But now I realise it is.
Why is it now that you realise?
I think just things that have been made aware of since I'm just like, I really live in kind of a bubble because we're not involved in any of that gang culture.
Yeah.
I do maybe think, it's not realistic, but I think if you are involved in that lifestyle, that's very much realistic.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you guys felt like it was realistic, glorified, or anything like that. No. Stuff like that, over-exaggerated or anything like that. When I'm seeing it, I'm kind of like teetering in between, like, is it over-exaggerated for, like, obviously sensationalized because obviously it's on a TV show, but at the same time there's certain things that kind of make me feel like, this is actually quite realistic. You know, like with the whole county lines thing, going to country and stuff like that.
I think it's very real.
That stuff does happen. What else am I thinking of?
No, I think it was very real.
Yeah. Did you manage to spot any familiar places, any familiar sceneries? Because I saw...
Central Middlesex Hospital.
What's
that? Baby,
that's exactly me. That was me as well. And then they had that hospital scene. You know, that hospital...
where he goes to
scuffle.
Oh yeah. That was the only bit where I was like, maybe that's a bit unrealistic. I don't know. Well,
I think that might have been unrealistic, but I was thinking, this is mad.
Yeah.
When I was watching it, I was thinking, this is actually.
Because I think I had to do the little 10-second rewind because I was like, whoa, that happened quick.
Yeah, the whole Tilly stuff. I was like, listen, Rhodes men will get you shot down.
Like Tilly, I don't know what she was doing.
But I'm not going to lie, she would have just got in the car and then they would have driven off
quickly.
Maybe that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
She had to be doing her styles.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know the relevance of that though. Like, I think it could have been okay without that.
I think I only found significance in that in my second watch.
Yeah.
When he meets up with Tilly's dad.
Yeah.
And then Tilly's dad is saying, "Oh, look what you've caused. I just want you to see." The damage that you're doing because
innocent
of you,
people again. Yeah.
Just because you want to make some money, that kind of thing. Like, at the same time, of course, I see it from his side of the view. Like, it's selfish to kind of involve people in this and get people shot because of it. But at the same time, I think the story of Ats and his mum and what's her name, Stefan, kind of shows that it's deeper than just making money.
Yeah.
It's not just about just making money because you're selfish or because you can't get enough.
I think that's what I loved about this. It was so real because it's still, even though it showed the whole gang culture, gang life and stuff, and it's a negative lifestyle, it showed that the intentions or the reasons for doing it is not because they want to. It's not because, I really want to go out and kill people and sell drugs, because this is the only option we have. I need to provide. And that's how so many young boys, that's how they get into it. That is so real. It's like, and I think I liked the fact that they're showing this to people who maybe don't understand that lifestyle or don't know anything about that, because there's a lot of people that will just see gangs on the road and think, oh yeah, these little boys, and they are up to no good probably, but they don't see what happens behind it, what's driven them to get to that point, which is why I love this, because I was just like, this is it. Like, they're going through shit themselves. It's not them wanting to be the bad boys, but...
There's a deeper question I want to ask around that. And it holds significance with this book, why I brought this book.
I was looking at that big book.
This book. And if you see the title, it's called Being and Nothingness by Sartre.
Oh! What was
John
this
Paul
referenced in? Was it in The Power of Now or something? Or there was a
Was
book?
it?
No,
But, yeah.
I think maybe it's in the psychopath test.
Yeah.
Have you read this?
Some of it, yeah. Not the whole thing. Definitely not the whole thing. But in my masters...
Oh, you can read Chantal on this.
Okay, there's a few relationships I'll mention, and I want you to tell me your impression of them. So let's say I'm going to mention 2 or more characters, and then you have to try and tell me your impression of these characters and their relationship. Duchesne and Sully.
Duchesne, in this series, he was pissing me off, and it just, I don't know. Like I said, in the previous seasons, it was Duchesne's in charge, and Sully's the crazy erratic one. And Sully just wants to have that power, but it makes sense for Duchesne to be in power. But in this season, it was kind of like Duchesne actually is not in the right all the time.
You don't think so?
No. And it was kind of like he was so selfish this season, I think. Yeah. And it was really just like, I don't know, he was making, like, at the end of it, he made the right decisions and stuff. But it just highlighted his selfishness, and I don't know, I think because he felt like he didn't have as much control and he was very desperate.
Yeah, I think it just showed, I think as well, it did show himself, he does come across very selfish, and you just think it's his own ulterior motives that he has. But I think that just showed his desperation. Yeah. That, like, you went to Jamaica and was hiding and you had nothing then, and you, like, have even less now. I think it was just, that's what you would do if you're desperate. You start moving mad.
He's under the tyranny of sugar. That's why. Yeah. That's the reason why he was acting like that. Like, he was just asking for money. Yeah, and he was even contemplating stealing from his mum, which I'm glad he didn't. Yeah, no. Because it showed that he still had morals in it, but it just showed that he was deteriorating in his morals, I suppose. Yeah.
One thing not that I didn't like I get it, Sully's a changed man now, but he was going on like he didn't carry on crazy in the first 2 seasons. True. Like, he'd never done anything bad in his life.
It's true. Even this scene that we're seeing with Jermaine and Sully interacting, and then he's expecting an apology. I'm thinking, apologise to your cousin, at least.
And you know you were in the wrong. Like, you flipping kidnapped him.
At least.
He just wants to hear the words come on.
You mentioned that Duchesne made all the right decisions in the end. But do you feel like it was the right decision? You know when after Sully found out that he involved police, he kind of questioned him, saying that there's always a way, but that you don't involve the police and stuff. True. So it's kind of like he violated the street code of conduct, kind of thing.
I get that, but then I also think the alternative was to kill, and this is maybe a better option than having killed. And I also recently we watched the first season, and there's a bit where Sully pitches the same idea to kidnap the op's brother or cousin or whatever and extort them. And it's like, so you've had those same... But I guess, he's changed. Because it's been 6 years. But it's like you once yourself had those same ideas as a solution. So how judgmental can you really be? Even though I agree, there's some things you don't do and it was wrong. And that me off that he did get the brothers and the police involved. But then I thought, I prefer it than him going and killing them.
Yeah.
And then the last scene where he goes in and shows him the video, I think, smart move. Smart move. Now you've got him under control. You don't have no competition.
Exactly. I thought it was genius what he did.
Yeah.
I
when they showed that clip, I thought, this is making sense now. He did,
Yeah.
Very tactful
Yeah,
move.
very tactful. Very, very, very. I didn't, initially I didn't think, he called the police. Only when Sully said it, I was like, okay, yeah, maybe he might have done something wrong. But at the same time, I'm thinking, can you really adopt oh no, we have to abide by these rules? If you're in street life, where do you draw the line? Or does it just show that no matter what game you're playing, you need to abide by some sort of rules? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Even if it's an illegal game in legal society, are there still some rules that you have to abide by?
I think some, maybe in terms of like brother code and stuff, because even though Sully and Shane have had their disagreements from previous seasons and there's all tension and different motives in this one, they've not like snitched on each other or like gone and stabbed each other in the back. There's still that code of we're still boys, even though we hate each other right now. They've not gone across that.
So maybe there is that.
They definitely have like that brotherly bond.
Yeah.
But is that like, that's more like a brotherly one. So then that one's understandable because it's kind of like, I got your back, you got mine.
Yeah.
But is it like, can you say that, basically what I'm asking is all fair in love and war, or are there rules to war, basically?
I don't know.
Can there be rules to war? Does it make sense that there's rules?
When you're desperate, like rules fly out the window.
That's the thing. Like, I think it is. I believe a bit of both. All is fair in love and war, but then at the same time, you should have boundaries within your war. But then, what determines what is too far? Like to kill one person, that might be okay, but to kill two, what makes that so wrong? If you like, how do you?
Yeah, it seems a bit arbitrary.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's between the three friends, Driss, Sully, and Duchesne. What do you think about that one? What's your impression on that one?
Do you know, at times, like, I did feel sorry for Driss, but then there were times where I was like, these boys actually have your like, they know you got a kid to look after. If he's seen you had a fit in the car as well, and he's telling you you're not fit for the job at the moment, like, that's not because they don't want you in the game. It's because there's that love there. It's like, if you slip up, you could get killed, someone else could get killed, or you just... But I obviously just didn't see it that way. But I don't know, it's...
Yeah, I don't think you would see it like that. Because if you come up with them throughout the years and you stay loyal to them, and then for them to kind of say, it's kind of like them being like, okay, we're top dogs, but you have to be like below Jack even, I suppose.
I know, but that's only because he started messing up in his game. Like, he wasn't delivering, and the game is the game. Like, if you're not meeting your targets, you've got to go. If he understood that this is a business move, like, he still came to check him and stuff. It's not to say we're not friends anymore, but he was like, you've had a stroke, you're not taking... He was using as well. He was high all the time. It's like, you're becoming a liability.
Yeah.
And at this point, for both of us, it's safest if you don't get involved.
Bruce basically became a washed up older.
He did, which in reality happens, isn't it?
Basically.
And then also, I think that is probably one of the rules just in, maybe not in war, but just gangs, I guess. Like, you sold your two top dogs, like, no matter how much you're disagreeing with them, you literally sold them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That was bad. That was bad.
Yeah, I didn't think he would. I can see why.
And
because,
he did it twice,
it does
didn't
seem
it?
like,
Like, he had bare chances.
You can say your point. You said that I might have a question. I don't think I do.
Oh, on Sully and Jason's relationship.
Yeah.
Like,
Actually,
the way he's...
Actually.
That, I think, as well, you could just see... I think I'm glad that they showed these people, these guys, aren't just monsters.
Yeah.
They do have a care. Like, when he found out that Jason was using, and he was like, whoever did this to you, like, I'm going to f*** him up. And I was just like, this is just... Even though he's doing all this horrible he cares, and he was a big brother to someone, and it was just... And you could feel, like, his heartbreak when Jason died, and it was just...
Oh my God.
That was
just everything.
Yeah.
That was a theme, the PTSD stuff.
Yeah.
And I like the way they did it, like with him hearing the fire and then seeing like little things that would remind him of Jason and stuff like that. That was just so cool. The trauma that he was experiencing.
After losing Jason.
And then he went to go find the guys and actually like beat them up or whatever. Their relationship was just everything.
Yeah.
Jason. Rest in peace, Jason.
You know when Axe and Stefan made the business thing?
Yeah.
I felt like I could relate to that because I remember when I used to have a certain amount of money for lunch, and I was thinking, how am I going to make this stretch? And then I started selling donuts at school.
Yeah, honestly.
The grind, and people were grinding at school selling stuff.
Yeah.
And them school days were long as well, so
Yeah.
you knew you needed something to eat. So you definitely had clientele.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clientele. Yeah, that is true.
I love that. Steph and Axe is...
Yeah, I was going to say, what about their relationship? How do you find that?
I loved how they depicted it. Like, even after they had their fight, and Steph doesn't say a lot.
Yeah.
He's not very verbal, but you just felt like the bromance there. Like, he was really... Even when he went Manchester and he didn't want to, but he was like, "It's my boy, I'm gonna go."
Yeah.
But after the argument, when he's like, they didn't even like
he was
have to
text.
apologise. Yeah. But he was still there. And then when they just do stupidness and they were doing their little dance and all, like going to steal the dog, it was just
2
like
peas in a pod.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show how kids are in it. Like, they'll have stupid ideas and then just go along with it, like because it's their friend, and I feel like those two represented like a lot of boys out there. Even like Shane and Sully, probably what they were like when they were younger, and it was quite nice to see because they both had different stuff going on. But when they would come together, it's like they would be able to be kids and be just like themselves.
Yeah, that's true. The 3 brothers, Jamie, Stefan, and I forgot the middle brother's name.
Aaron.
The middle child. Was it Aaron? Their relationship.
Aaron.
Loved it.
I liked it too.
Loved it.
Jamie doing the most. But I guess he had to, innit?
Do you feel like it was realistic when he kind of not threatened, but he kind of intimidated the teacher when he said, "Oh, no one likes sarcasm."
I think he had to do it. I like that.
I loved it. Yeah, I felt like the whole like parents' evening thing and all that was like
when Steph came in and he was in the bath. I loved that as well.
Oh, I know.
It's like, it's just how it is.
Yeah, that's how it is. He's like, "Oh, I need a bit of privacy," but he's still chatting. He's
Yeah.
still talking.
Yeah, I felt like that. No one.
But what I didn't like, which is maybe it was very true what he said. You know, when he's having the conversation with the brother and he's like, "I'm your mother, your father, and your brother."
Yeah.
I get it. Now you are all of those roles, but at the same time, he had a mother and a father. You can't ever replace that. You can be his guardian, but you're not his mother or his father. Because there were some bits where it's like, I see you're trying to be big, like be the father figure, but what? There was maybe 2-3 years difference between them. Don't carry on like he is your son. I would, I can't say what I would do if I was in that position, but you'd want to treat him like he's your little brother, not like he's your son. It felt a little bit patronising almost, but I think it was getting across the point that he is everything to these boys.
Even though we didn't see the parents or whatever, it seemed like the parents did have like something strong going on in terms of like looking after their kids. So I kind of felt like Jamie just sort of like adopted it, but a bit too much.
I get what you mean. It seemed like they had a very stable family life.
So I feel like he was overdoing it to make up for what they had before now that the parents were gone.
Probably right, yeah.
Okay, so the relationship between, I don't know her name, but
The
Jamie and
Lizzie,
the drug supplier.
It was very weird to me.
Yeah.
Like,
I knew that was going to happen.
Jamie and her?
Yeah.
I had a feeling that was going to happen.
Because he kind of liked her, but I don't know. It was so
weird.
weird.
You mean as in the way she was trying to shut him down, like saying, "Oh no."
Yeah, and then like I don't know if he. Really
I think for him it was
her.
more having somebody, because he is the mother, the father, everything in that role. It was more him finding almost like a mother figure, like somebody to take care of him. When he was like, "Can't we just chill for a bit?" It was like he wanted that escapism, some time, something that feels for
I didn't
him.
even clock that. Yeah.
And I think it was like he doesn't have any parents now, and there's this older woman who is essentially taking care of him in the business side, and it's like you start looking for that. He has a void that needs to be filled, probably by an older woman figure.
Yeah, because I kind of felt he looked to her kind of in the sense of like a mother, but then he
it
was
wasn't very
attracted
sexual.
to her.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, isn't that like not a condition, but there's a name for it. Like
is it the Oedipus complex? Oh yeah, to fall in love. Yeah, Oedipus
with
complex.
like a parent.
Yeah, as in like to envy the father. It's Freud's theory, to envy the father and to kind of desire the mother.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
kind of felt like he had.
Yeah, I think that's
Sort of
it was
that.
like him. That's what I got from it anyway. That he was looking for some sort of mother figure,
Yeah.
or just to be that little boy. Because in every other aspect of his life, he has to be the big the boss. He has to be hard and tough. And it was like, can't we just chill? Can't we just like?
Yeah,
he just
when he was like,
to,
can't we just chill?
I see,
Like,
I see.
like, he was like a little
he just wanted to be
puppy.
cuddled and just
Okay, I see. How did you find the relationship between Ats and his mum?
I liked it, but I also thought like,
I thought that wasn't as realistic.
as an African mother.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have an African mother, but
You get the
I
vibes.
imagine, she wouldn't be as soft and.
Yeah.
No, African mothers can be quite soft.
No, I know they can be
They
soft,
are.
but when he was swearing, and like, aren't you gonna beat your son? What the hell?
Or at least do the stern look.
Something,
like,
yeah.
Okay, I see what you
know,
mean. I see what you mean.
It was very.
Something.
She was a bit too passive. A bit
Yeah,
too.
but it's really because she was in a vulnerable.
She was in a
Yeah,
vulnerable
so-
position, and obviously she wouldn't expect that from her son.
Do
So
you know what was like such a touching scene when after they do the burgers and he goes, "I've got this for you, mum." And it's £7 or something, and it's.
Was it 15? I think it was 15.
But you could like, as a mother, I just think that must be so hard, like to see your son is 13 or something, and he's out there and
trying to grind for you.
You shouldn't have to make your kids feel like they need to look after you at that age. And it was just, I felt that scene.
That's what I do like about the series. It kind of shows that Ats is the next generation, and then if he continues down that path, he's just going to move on to drugs or something like that. It's not any. I don't want to say it's not any different, but it's just got the same motivations. The drugs, selling drugs and selling burgers and all this stuff has the same motivations. Yeah. And the reason why I can relate to it is because, I had to do something similar to make money stretch at secondary school. So, and a lot of people felt that way.
It's very normal,
And it just showed how easy it is to sort of slip into that world. Because I feel like at the beginning, Ats was like kind of so far removed from it. But then just like that, he was in
something
it,
changes.
like, literally.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so the final relationship that I'm going to ask about is Shelley and Duchesne.
I love Shelley.
I love Shelley.
She was a nice character because she was like a breath of fresh air from the drama.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. She's very different from all.
Yeah, she was nice and relaxed, nice and calm, but she had a good head on her. And
but then someone with such a good head on you, would you go for someone like Duchesne?
I don't think she went for
I think
him,
you guys
though.
have to talk about that because I always wonder about this, and then I think you guys have to talk about this.
Tell me,
Because I see it around and I'm thinking, come on. But then I think only from a woman's perspective you can kind of speak on that. I can't speak on it.
I feel like she didn't. I feel like Duchesne came to her, as they do.
Yeah, because again, he was looking for something. He wanted something. Like that when he went to her and he just gave her a hug. Like he just, again, needed that, like, to be hugged. And he didn't try nothing sexual. It was literally just like, hold me. Because little boys are just such little boys. Their relationship, I don't know if it was necessary, but it was liked. I liked it. Like, I don't know if that wasn't there, would it have taken away that much? But like, if they didn't have the relationship, I think you would have been like, oh, something's missing, or they should have had a girlfriend. I don't think it was that significant.
I don't think so.
But I think it was. It played this nice part, like with the mum.
Yeah, I feel like it linked nicely with the mum and stuff.
Yeah.
That just reminded me of Sully and his ex.
I like the dynamic
She's so
show.
pretty.
She's got a beautiful face.
Like
her complexion and just
I was just looking at her like
really beautiful features.
nice.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not the question.
A few inches later.
You know, it's just like strike. Like there was something just.
Her lips was like really big,
just
but really
natural.
nice. And then and
beauty,
her face structure.
Black women appreciation.
Eventually.
But yeah,
So
Sully
good.
and his ex and the new man.
The new man.
Yeah. I think it was great that they showed the envy that he felt because he was really like, wow, like this could have been my life, but people are living this good settled life. When was he talking to Deshane or something, and then Deshane's like, what, is that what you want now or something? And it's like, you could tell he did. He was like, I want to settle down and go home and see my daughter. But I liked that he did. You saw that he still loved the baby mums. I mean, he overstepped massively going to their house after he got shot, even saying to the man, what did he say to the dad, the other, Paul, was that his name?
Yeah.
He said something, I thought, what a rude man. They've invited you to dinner. Shouldn't have to bring you into our house
that's true.
to sit down with him there.
But you can tell his baby mum actually really, like...
She cares.
Yeah, she cares about him. And she wants, like, what's
she wanted him to do better,
Which is the black woman all the time anyway.
Always rooting for black men. What do they do? Show up with bullets in their arms. Cause nothing but trouble.
You know when you talked about how he was showing that he was a bit envious when he was talking to Deshane, and he's like, oh, is that the type of life you want? Is that the same scene as when Deshane said, is the juice worth the squeeze when he quoted?
I love that. No, it wasn't.
Donovan. It wasn't. It was a different one.
That was before when he was like, I think that's when like they had exhausted all options and he was like, we're still not going to get this money to pay Sugar back. And they were in the cafe when that happened. I think it was later on, towards the end of the episodes, when when Sully starts saying he'd like to settle down or whatnot. Yeah.
So the question that I had, because that quote when he said, "Is the juice worth the squeeze?" really kind of resonated with me, and I start saying it everywhere. Like at work, I'm like the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Honestly, why have I never heard that saying before?
Why have I not heard that saying
so
before?
good.
It's such a good one.
Because sometimes I'm like, nah, this ain't worth the squeeze, guys.
It's true though.
Now
that I think about it,
Yeah, the other day I said it to my mum, she was doing something, and I was like, is it worth the squeeze? Because she's watched Top Boy as well.
Yeah.
Like, you're really stressing. I was like, is the juice worth the squeeze? She was like, is it? I don't know. Like, it probably makes people think, like, is it worth it? Killing ourselves, killing other people.
All this for money,
or to kill myself.
Yeah.
But it was interesting that they showed both of them at some point had that thought. Like when Deshane says, is the juice worth the squeeze? And there's another point when Sully's like, we should do something else, like we can get out or something, and he's just...
Then he says, what else are we going to be?
Yeah.
And this is a perfect segue into what the deeper question I had for you guys and relevance to that book. Basically, this reminded me, as soon as I saw him say, oh, what else are we going to be? It reminded me of an idea that Sartre has as an existentialist. You guys know what existentialist is? Existentialism is, in a nutshell, it is kind of a philosophical position where it kind of takes the human living, breathing being that we are as preceding like an essence or something. So let's say, for example, someone might have an idea that humans are rational animals or something like that, blah, blah. But first and foremost, an existentialist will say, no, we're human, living, breathing, we have anxieties, we have this, we have that.
Okay.
First and foremost. Their virtue is authenticity, which just basically means that living sincerely and passionately when making decisions. Also, basically, it's kind of like they believe that there's no preset meaning that's on your life or anything like that, but you kind of place meaning on it. You create that meaning that you experience in your life. And so the reason why that's what he said about what else are we going to be, it reminded me of an idea of that Sartre called bad faith, which is pretty much saying it's kind of like you self-deceive yourself to believe that you have no freedom, but when you claim that what else are we going to be, you've already chosen initially that this is the way I'm going to be.
Yeah.
And so he tries to emphasize that in that book as well. The reason why it's called Being and Nothingness is because he's trying to say at our core being, we are nothing. And not in the sense of we're nothing in terms of worth, but as in like, whenever we say, I am this, we always go a bit above that anyway. We always transcend it. We aren't actually that, but we just identify with that. And so let's say he thinks that it's bad faith to kind of over-identify with a certain role or position or something like that. So similarly, he would say that Sully suffers from bad faith because he believes that this is him and that's it and whatever.
He's created that state for himself.
But he's created it for himself, and the fact that he's kind of he's created it for himself, and he's currently is that, but he's not realizing that he can go above that and kind of say, actually, no, it doesn't have to be that.
Yeah.
And I could find an alternative route.
Yeah.
He says that one thing that causes this is kind of like social pressures and environmental conditioning and genetics and stuff like that kind of makes you feel like, oh, what else am I going to be? I am this kind of thing, and I'm not going to be anything else. But I was going to say, do you feel like, because we were talking about how social pressures kind of cause someone to do certain things, like we're saying about motivations and stuff. Do you feel like it is bad faith to kind of say that, well, I am a product of my environment and this is the way I'm going to go about it? Or is it bad faith, or is it justified? Kind of like, oh yeah, well, this is my conditioning, so.
I think a bit of both. I think it is bad fate because it's just, I believe anyway, you have that self-fulfilling prophecy. Is that what they call it? Where you just live up to what you think your expectations are for you because that is what society tells you. I think it's a massive thing as well for us, for our race as black people, because for so many years we've been told you are this or you're less than, we only live up to that because we haven't been encouraged to think otherwise because that's all you think there is. And I think you do become so, it's that fear though, that if you're not this, what else is there? Like you become so, that part of his life, that is his identity. And without that, he's not Sully anymore. So he's probably like, well, that is all he knows. That's his identity. He probably can't even think that there is another way of living because that's who he has become. So I think it doesn't help to say, yeah, this is my fate, because then you will have the mindset that this is it and you won't try any other way to get yourself out of it. But I think it's more than just at an individual level that you can change that. Because if you're saying to yourself, oh no, I'm better than this, but society is telling you otherwise, it's very hard to overcome that mindset. Like you have to have a very, very strong mind to tell yourself there is another way and to get out of that when everything else is showing you that there's not really, it's not that easy anyway. But I think a lot of people are just scared also. Like it's that same thing where people get so, they go into victim mode and then they become so identified with that victim. It's like they just feed off of misery and self-pity and everything because it's like they've identified themselves as the victim and that's who they are. They don't know how to be not a victim anymore. And it's just, when you start feeding that and it's like misery loves company, you just end up staying in that cycle. So I don't really know if I've answered your question.
I know what you mean. You said that you feel like it's both because in one sense, like you have to kind of believe that you're more than your condition, otherwise you're just going to be trapped in the same cycle.
I believe that's what makes change.
Yeah. At the same time, you can't just ignore what you're surrounded by or what your past is and stuff like that. And I think Sartre would agree with that because he doesn't say bad faith is a bad thing. Of course he says bad in the title, but what he means is that it's just not showing that it's not recognizing that you're free. Yeah. It's not recognizing your own freedom. So it's kind of like, and that's what the inauthenticity comes from. As in like you're not being authentic with yourself. You do have a choice despite you might be limited by your choice, but you still have a choice. So let's say for Sully, let's put it in concrete terms. For Sully, he could choose probably to go down a more legit route and probably, I don't know, not try to be the hero in his daughter's eyes and stuff like that and be the flashy guy or whatever. Because he wants that image. He sees himself as that image and he sees that this is the only route to get there. Yeah. And so I think if we take Sully's, because he did envy what his ex had, he's not being honest with himself thinking, okay, maybe I can make this relationship work and then I could be a part of my daughter's life and I could have a different approach to life and so on and so forth. He can see that option is there, but because he sees the people around him, he's like, let's say Duchesne's kind of mocking him saying, oh, so that's what you want. But he kind of did want it until Duchesne said, oh, is that what you want? Because then he thinks, oh, maybe I'm living wrong like that. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't want that. Maybe I should carry on being the way I was. That's the
thing, yeah. So it's difficult if you don't have that changed mindset around you.
Yeah. That environment.
Yeah. It's hard to stay authentic amongst other people. Yeah. Especially if the other people don't see what you see or experience what you experience.
Yeah. They just keep you on their level.
All right, so yeah, I think that's that. So I want to thank you guys for coming as usual. Always
Thank you.
willing to contribute.
Thank you. Another discussion.
Another discussion down. What should we review next? I know, yeah, I disappointed you guys not doing Hidden Figures, but
As long as no, because I feel like we have to do that properly.
yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
not.